There is definitely something there for everyone.
It's very frightening and it's very funny.
It's about his dreams, it's about his interests, it's about his life.
Sharmanka is really the inside of Eduard Bersudsky's mind.
Well, if you saw him in the street, you could mistake him for an intellectual with his grey hair and his beard and his serious way of looking around. The first time I saw it, and I couldn't describe how amazing it was, but enough for Tim to get curious, and he went to have a look.
My joke is that they, in their previous life, were two wild bears in the same forest.
And we felt it was very important to bring this amazing art to Scotland.
I was shown his work by Tim Stead, furniture maker and sculptor. And I was looking for art for the new Gallery of Modern Art that I created in Glasgow. And I bought then 3 pieces, The Great Idea and Dreamer in the Kremlin and The Walk in Perestroika. And then I went to see them in Russia. And this encouraged them to sort of think, well, perhaps we will leave. And the health system there is not very good. But I thought his art was so sort of central to Russia, was so much about Russian history, and was important to Russia, that I thought this wonderful artist should not leave Russia. But I think sentimentally I didn't realize how difficult life was in Russia.
It was impossible economic and psychological situation in 1993. We wouldn't be able to survive there anymore.
It takes some character to be able to, at her age, to take a small boy, a crazy artist, and very heavy artwork out of a very difficult country with no necessary plan or future. That kind of locomotive of ambition is something for anyone to strive to.
She's a good storyteller, she's very determined. Her whole being is then totally lighting up with her wonderful sense of humor. And Edward, he is a very, very strong believer in friendship. He's a very, very loyal person.
We wouldn't be able to build new life in Scotland without help of Tim and Maggie and without help of Julian Spalding.
The displacement has started really, I think, kind of being tiring. And it felt like a place for us to stay. And the first place we arrived to was Scottish Borders, where a beautiful, peaceful place, and where Edward could get on with his work, and we kind of just kind of settle down and start thinking, what's the next major step?
When Tim met Edward and Edward met Tim, they were like two masters meeting each other, and there was no conflict because they were in completely different worlds, except they had the same passion for creating, for sculpture, for wood. And it was interesting because they could not talk, but they talked wood and they talked tools and they talked art.
At that time, old Labours were in charge of Glasgow City Council. They saw culture as Glasgow's way out of misery.
And the people on the city council that were deciding who should have these spaces, obviously they asked me and they said, what do you think of these people? And I said, well, you know, they're brilliant. And of course, you know, I gave all the support I could. The Millennium Clock was my idea. And I thought that a lot of the Millennium stuff was a waste of time.
Originally, it was Julian project for Kelvin Grove. And we won a huge competition. It was half of money which we really needed and half of time we really needed. Because we knew that Tim is dying and it's our last chance to do something together, just everybody went for it. And next day Tim went for his next chemotherapy and it didn't work, so he died in May. Because Edward was working under huge pressure, he got a stroke on the scaffolding of Millennium Clock 2 weeks before it was open, and practically at the opening, both him and Tim look like, you know, kind of more like two ghosts than kind of people who just done this work. So it was paid dearly, but it's done. It's there. People love it.
When the Trongate 103 Centre opened, the idea was that all of the galleries and spaces here would contribute something on a monthly level to First Thursday events. But because Sharmanka doesn't have new exhibitions in the way that a photo gallery has, the idea for music here was something I came up with so that we could contribute and have something distinctive each month. And that was how it began. And I thought, well, I know lots of people who would love to play in this space, so let's invite them in to react to Eduard's machines and respond to them. And we've really come up with some fantastic performances across the time.
They've been recognised as drawing people to Glasgow, adding something really different to the cultural life of the city.
We've had an amazing array of people in this gallery, and everyone has found something for them in here, and that's quite unique.